Good morning, Monday, April 25th. What's up, everybody? Nice weekend this past weekend. Hopefully all of your weekends went well. We had a great time. Did some working out with the wife. I've been talking about the gymnastic rings that I ordered from Amazon a couple weeks ago. These things are freaking awesome. They're getting some calluses on the hands, though. Notice, take your rings off if you're going to get these and use them. But, yeah, man, incredible difference I've been feeling with the strength in my upper body with these rings. And my wife scoped out an awesome tree in the backyard that we were able to hang these from. They come with the straps already. They come with measurements on the straps, so you can more or less balance them out. And the two rings. $24 on Amazon. I'll put a link up on my website for the one that I used, and not bad. I chose the wood over the plastic only because it feels like it's more durable. I had a concern with the plastic melting and all this heat, or remolding itself, reshaping itself, as plastic sometimes does every once in a while when it's cheap plastic, which those rings that I looked on Amazon, they look pretty cheap. Anyway, hopefully your weekend's going well. We had a nice little semi-family gathering with my wife's family. Her grandmother came in from Massachusetts, and we hung out with them yesterday here at the house. It's always nice when you get to see the older generations. You know, they know a lot more than we have yet to figure out. You know, we have the entire capability of the internet at our hands, at our fingertips, at most cases, and you know, they still manage to figure out more than we know now. It's incredible. You know, they're very much connected to the way things are. So that was very interesting. Big pay-per-view went on this weekend. UFC 197. The return of Johnny Bones Jones. You know, people will make their criticisms. I'll go ahead and inject mine now. I thought it was a masterful performance by John Bones Jones. Did he seem hesitant to close out the fight? Yes, he did. Did he not do anything over the top spectacular? No, he did not. But you know what? He maintained control for 5 rounds. And I didn't expect it to go that way. I expected a first round knockout. Johnny Bones Jones, you know, no questions asked, knocking out Ovin St. Preux. Sorry. And Mighty Mouse Johnson, Demetrius Johnson, DJ Mighty Mouse knocks out Henry Cejudo. Great wrestler. He was an Olympic gold medalist. And amazing Muay Thai clinch led to some vicious knees. Left knee to the liver looked like what knocked him out. And DJ finished in fabulous fashion. And then the other fight that I was interested in was the Edson Barbosa, Anthony Pettis fight. 2 amazing kickers. You know, Joe Rogan has often said that Edson Barbosa throws the fastest switch kick in MMA. You know, and I'll trust his judgment because I don't know everybody in MMA like he does. And I take my advice from the professionals, man. That's the way I get it done. So that was a great pay-per-view. A lot of controversy last week with Conor McGregor and UFC 200. That seems to be back on. According to Conor McGregor, he tweeted, I think it was last night or this morning, that he was back into the card. If any of you saw the conference last week for UFC 200 on Friday, they left his chair empty, which I thought was a really petty move. Saw some things in Google Plus this morning in our UFC community that some people thought it was just a media publicity stunt. Very well could have been. Didn't seem that way to me, but, you know, hey, what do I know? I'm not there. I'm not the one making the decisions. It's all good, though. As long as he fights Nate Diaz, I think it'll be entertaining for all. I'm really looking forward to the Claudia Gadelha and Joanna Jędrzejczyk fight. If you guys have not seen Joanna Jędrzejczyk fight, look her up on YouTube. I'll try to post some links to help you guys find her. She's the Polish princess, the Polish power, whatever you want to call her. She is from Poland, and she is knocking chicks unconscious, man. Not recently, her last fight ended in a decision. Regardless, she is a thumper. She was a Muay Thai champion for several years, and that striking has advanced her into that level that she's in now. Miesha Tate, Amanda Nunes fighting on UFC 200 as well. Looking forward to that. If Amanda Nunes can get her cardio up, we may see a 5-round war. Unless Miesha Tate sleeps her, which could very well happen. So it's been interesting watching the UFC going on. I think there's a mosquito chewing on my legs, so excuse me while I adjust where I'm at. I'm not trying to have this happening to me again. I sat here the other day and got chewed the hell up, man. But it's all good. We'll see what's what. Get this mosquito out of the way. What else is going on? Had our first open practice on Saturday for Puerto Rico lacrosse. I may have jumped the gun with that a little bit. I did not give out enough warning. I kind of planned it the same week and executed on the Saturday. So lesson learned, further notice. Puerto Ricans need a lot of notice to get somewhere and get there on time even. So that's interesting. We have some updates going on. First off, it's NHL Stanley Cup season, which means beers are in effect. My beard is always in effect, so don't you ever question me on that. We have some advancements, man, some very, very good advancements. San Jose advances against LA. Unfortunately, the Rangers knocked out of the playoffs by the Penguins. What can you do? Philly knocked out by Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals. That should be a great series between the Capitals and the Penguins. It always has been. Typically, the Penguins do have their number, but they have beat the Penguins in the past. Different rosters this year. None of that should matter. Detroit gets knocked out to Tampa, and Florida gets knocked out by the Islanders. I've heard a lot of complaining from Florida fans that there were a lot of non-calls from referees. Such is life. When I was a coach, when I was a player, it was very well understood. The referees are there to keep order, to keep score, and to keep penalties marked. They are not there to help or hurt. Can they? Yes, but you never leave the game up into the referees, man. You put the scores on the board and you make them irrelevant. That's how you do it. That's how I coach, and that's how I recommend everyone compete in that fashion. As I mentioned before, LA knocked out by San Jose. That was a surprising knockout. Anaheim and Nashville still in their series. St. Louis and Chicago in a beater of a series right now. Chicago's got to climb their way out of the hole. They're up against the wall. If they lose one more time, St. Louis advances, and that's going to be embarrassing for Chicago. Minnesota gets knocked out by Dallas, so they're awaiting St. Louis and Chicago to play. And we'll see some great series, including the Islanders and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Ryan Callahan still on the Lightning, still killing it. Brian Boyle still on the Lightning, old former Rangers. I kind of miss them as New York Rangers. They were hustlers on the team, man, and once they left, you could really see that there was some slack to be picked up. So, it is what it is. And over to MLL news, we have some recent games. The start of the season was last week. Congratulations, by the way, to Chaz Woodson. I saw that he made his debut as an announcer. For most of you who don't know, he was on the podcast. I dare say it was episode 14. Let me confirm that for you 1 second. Yes, episode 14. So if you want to see that, I'll post a link on that as well. To get to Chaz Woodson, he is, I think, in my opinion anyway, he's undoubtedly a future Hall of Famer of the MLL. Amazing highlight videos. You can find those on YouTube as well. MLL Chaz Woodson, Chazz Woodson. But he made his broadcasting debut for the Florida launch last week. Great for him. Unfortunately for Florida launch, they were beaten by the Ohio Machine 16-14. Charlotte beat Boston Cannons 15-12. Charlotte Hounds. Let's see, we got the Chesapeake Bayhawks taking on the Atlanta. I don't remember the name of the Atlanta team, but either way, they lost 16-13. Atlanta Blaze, that's what it's called. And then the the New York Lizards beat the Rochester Rattlers. Who remembers that name? The Rattlers. Not too bad though. Rattlesnake. That's a pretty good logo. Can't hate on that. Not mad at that at all. Other things going on in the world. Let's see what's up. Finally got Marshmallow on my phone. Been waiting for that update for a while. I kind of like it and I kind of don't. There's a couple things that are pretty great. I'm not crazy about all this white in my notification bar. I could do without. Thank you, Google. But other than that, pretty smooth flowing. Can't be a hater. Google Music finally got an update for that. So got rid of my Castbox application since I listen to podcasts. And now Google Music is hosting all the podcasts that I listen to. So goodbye, Castbox. So that's been nice. I am trying to get up on Google Play as well so I can get my podcast. So I can get my podcast up on Google Music so that you guys who don't have the time to hang out and watch YouTube like I do, you guys can just listen in the car, in the headphones, at work, wherever you are, and just keep getting after it. So, yeah, good news there. What else is new in the world? As we know already, Prince passed away last week. That was interesting to see, especially the morning celebrations everyone hit. There were several videos of people, in large crowds singing his songs. I'm a little softy for shit like that, so I teared up a little bit. That's a nice way to remember somebody. I think that that's absolutely one way to live on is through the music. We've seen it countless times. Michael Jackson is one of those I think of all the time, especially because I loved his music, still do. My daughter knows that now because she very well knows the Michael Jackson voice, even from when he was a kid. ABC, probably one of my favorites also. And, yeah, good times. What else is going on? Come on, people. Still waiting for you guys to submit some questions, so it's all good. Just getting on after it. Not a whole lot else happening in the world. Let's see, what else we got? Let's check some Google News, shall we? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, boy. Obama announces an additional 250 special operations forces in Syria. Great. What? I don't follow football. Something about Johnny Manziel. Sorry about that. Not interested. Eddie Bravo's Invitational, EBI 6, broadcasted live last night from UFC Fight Pass. If you have the UFC Fight Pass, enjoy that. I'm going to actually finish watching it today. I fell asleep to it last night because we were running around with family. For those of you who don't know, the EBI 6 is a jiu-jitsu only tournament. Pretty freaking great. I listened to a little bit more of the breakdown from Eddie Bravo the other day, who created this event. It is specifically for people who love jiu-jitsu but hate the point system of jiu-jitsu, in which you see a lot of stalling for guys not wanting to get submitted and not wanting to get points scored on them. They'll stall, which basically means they get the other fighter into a position where he can't attack, and they just hold on for dear life. If you were in a street encounter and you needed to defend yourself in such a way, then yeah, that might be a great way to stop somebody from attacking you, is just to hold on for dear life. But in sport, nobody wants to see that. We've seen several examples of that in MMA, where guys will just stand around basically and kind of circle and circle and circle, and then they, it becomes a very boring fight. That actually happened on Fight Pass. For those of you who didn't see the Fight Pass prelims, Cody East, which is I guess a guy Dana White just brought up from his Looking for a Fight show, he fought really big dude. I can't remember his name right now. Matter of fact, let me just look it up for you guys. That was an extremely boring fight. In the later rounds, the first two were very slow. And then all of a sudden, just boom, they really got after it, and it was pretty great to see. What's up there, man? Yo, whoever controls the UFC Fight Pass, as far as the software, they suck. And I hope that didn't come out too harsh, but they really do. They suck. They have a tab here for replays. UFC 197 was Saturday night, 2 days ago, and they don't have the link up yet. Dana White, give me a call, man. I'll do this better. I can do this better. All right? Give me a call. I'll set you up with some proper stuff. Another thing, if you guys have the UFC Fight Pass, maybe you guys that live in the United States and have cable don't really care. Something I'm really upset about, I hope they get fixed up. Fox Sports 1 declares all rights to the UFC fights that they broadcast. I don't know who in the UFC made that decision, but that is a fucking terrible decision. It's your fight. They're only broadcasting your fights. How could you give them that kind of power? That's retarded. Really. I mean, that's like saying, that's like me hosting this podcast, right? It's going to be up on YouTube later. It's going to be up on my website. It's going to be up on my Facebook, my Google Plus, and everywhere else that I social media interact. And if YouTube decided, well, these people can't see this podcast, I would be upset. I would take it off of YouTube, and I would stop allowing them to have that power, right? I would figure out another way. I would use Vimeo or another video service and use them for their hosting and get it done that way. Or I would do what some of these other guys do and start up my own video set, you know, and do my whole production. I don't feel like doing that. So I go the easy route, inexpensive route, or free, I should say, and use YouTube. Why not? Gets me the results I want with the equipment I have. No money out of the pocket, no stress on the brain. It's all good, man. Just shoot my videos, make my commentary, listen to stuff banging around in my backyard, and I get going. You know, it's all good. So, yeah, a little bit upsetting. I live in Puerto Rico. I have never had, well, not never. I haven't had cable in the last 11 years because I think it's a ripoff. Everything I want to watch is online anyway. It cracks me up when people are just now saying, oh, well, you know, you can get everything you want if you just have Amazon Fire or if you just get a Chromecast or Apple TV, you have everything you want on there. Hey, guess what? Been doing that for about 5 years. You know, not mean to brag, but, you know, it is what it is. Get up on the game, people. Technology exists. Let's make use out of it. Yeah, what else is going on in the news? More politics stuff. I'm not really into that. Oh, Ohio shootings. Heartless, well-planned, mysterious, and terrifying. The execution-style murders of 8 members of the same family in rural Pike City, Ohio, has set residents on edge. My wife was actually talking to me about this yesterday, so I'm going to read up on this a little bit later. Oh, YouTube wants, or CNN wants to automatically show me a video. I don't care, CNN. All right. My wife, the way my wife explained it to me was that these people were killed as marijuana grow up, and they feel that it was cartel members who, or you know, some kind of other competition marijuana growers that killed these people. You know, once again, this was just out of my gut feeling was that's not the case here. You know, there's a reason everyone knows what a Colombian necktie is. It's because it's been publicized, right? If you don't know what a Colombian necktie is, it's when they tie a rubber tire around your head. They don't tie it. They just loop it around your head. You can watch it on a couple of shows. They've had it on other things. The Shield was one of the ones that I can think of off the top of my head with an actual scene that they showed. They put the tire around your head, they douse the tire in gasoline or whatever kind of flammable liquid, and they light the tire on fire. So naturally that thing isn't going anywhere. It's going to burn for hours, and you end up dying from the burn. there's a reason people know that that exists. You know, there's a reason Peruvian death squads are real, Nicaraguan death squads are real. The point is to instill fear in those who want to compete with us, right? Why would a rival competitor, marijuana grower, or what have you, execute people in silence? That makes no sense. To me, that sounds more like black ops, you know, stuff going on where nobody wants to be heard or seen. They kill everyone who's involved and leave. Why does the government have a reason to kill these people? I'm not saying they do. I'm simply saying that that sounds more like a black ops situation than a rival, you know, cartel or whatever have you. You want to use the name on it, man. That sounds ridiculous to me. More in the news, Ecuador suffered an earthquake over a week ago, and they are still pulling people out of the rubble. It seems like an infant was found in the rubble, still alive, barely, but still alive regardless. Pretty, you know, it's a terrible thing. It is, however, great to see all the formal, you know, the countries that have gone over to support Ecuador. To my knowledge, and I will have to do some Googling on this, to my knowledge, Ecuador is not involved in any conflicts that I know of. So it makes all the sense in the world that lots and lots of people would flood to Ecuador to help. You know, when a country is seen as benign, I guess is the best word to call it, right? When they're not a threat to anybody, people are willing to help. We saw what happened in Haiti, and they have, from what I understand, they have jungle machete squads. You know, do I live in Haiti? No, I don't. But I've talked to some young lady Haitians that I used to work with, and that was the word in the clinic. You know, that was the fear in Haiti, is the machete squads that come through the villages and they rape people and they kill everyone, all the males in the village, and they take what they want and they leave. You know, that's kind of nuts to me. That would be terrifying to live there. You know, it is what it is. Whoa, Tamir Rice's family to receive $6 million. I believe Tamir Rice was the young boy who was playing with a BB gun. Is that? I believe that's correct. But it seems, yeah, 12-year-old boy whose fatal shooting by the Cleveland police in 2014 prompted a national outrage, set to receive $6 million from the city in a settlement announced Monday to federal courts. Okay, so for the people of Cleveland, they're probably outraged. This is municipal money that goes to this family. But for the family, they've got to be obviously more outraged that a 12-year-old boy, 2 years ago, he should have been 14 now, he doesn't get to live out his life, man. That's terrible. That's not what you want to have see. Young kids should not be killed, especially by police officers. So $6 million, is it justice? No. But it is a shut up and stop crying about it paycheck. You know, I think that's terrible. I'd like to see that the officer in question was brought on charges. Speaking of which, that's what I did this weekend also. Yesterday, saw a documentary on Netflix. This was a big thing going on when when my daughter was born. And I was living in North Carolina at the time, so this was really, really big news where we lived. The Duke lacrosse team back in 2006 was charged of rape. The entire season was canceled after just a couple of weeks into the investigation. So for those of you who didn't know, the short gist of it is that the lacrosse players were having a party, as teams tend to do. I hate the fact that they paint it as lacrosse players are the only ones that have these kind of parties. It's well known if you're part of a college team, this is likely to happen in a male college team environment, okay? They had a party, blow off some steam. They had a tough loss in the championship game. They invited over 2 strippers who they paid, and one of the strippers alleged that she had been raped by 3 of the men, right? So the entire team is at the game, at the party. The 2 strippers show up, 2 strippers leave. The neighbor recalls them, the team members, screaming out racial slurs to the young lady in question as she left, right? Terrible. Nobody likes racial tension, you know. It's unpleasant for everyone involved, right? including the racist. All right, so that's something maybe nobody thinks about. The racist is offended. Should he be offended? Absolutely not. That's ignorance, but they're offended nonetheless. A whole investigation took place while I was cross-training for another job, so I was in a hotel watching the news every day, eating breakfast, and they were just making it worse. So every day that I turned on the news, the story got worse and worse from a lacrosse player standpoint, someone who supports the game, you know, someone who has been identified as a lacrosse player. So yes, I'm identifying as a lacrosse player because I play the sport, I love the sport, I coach. I'm currently in the process of making it big here in Puerto Rico. So obviously I love the sport and everything it contains. When bad news comes out like that, it affects everyone. For those of you who didn't see my Chaz Woodson interview, yes, it absolutely does affect everyone involved, and it's terrible. You know, it's when people see you with the lacrosse stick, they associate you with every other lacrosse player they've ever seen. Whoa. What's this? Could you please prepare a proposal for your wins? Hey now, some work efforts. All right, let's get to work, people. I'm about to leave you guys in a few because it's time to go have lunch with my beautiful wife. It's a little early, but we're going to get early lunch so she can get out of work early. Why is she getting out of work early? Because she worked hard this fucking weekend. Mind your business. Okay. Yeah, so watch that documentary. It's called, it's called, come on, Netflix, open up. Fantastic Lies. It's called Fantastic Lies. It's about the story of Duke Lacrosse and the trial that went on there. I got to tell you that a constant thing that I'm seeing, especially for any of you who saw the Making of a Murderer documentary on Netflix, is, man, justice has its head up its ass. You know, very oftentimes some of these people pursuing justice are not pursuing justice, they're pursuing personal goals. I won't give away the point of this documentary. Fantastic Lies, sorry. The Fantastic Lies documentary will lay it out all for you. If you haven't seen the Making of a Murderer series, it's an excellent series on YouTube, on Netflix. Go enjoy that. And, you know, anyway, enjoy that. I'm going to get to my day. Enjoy yours. You know, not too much perception changing today. Otherwise, have a great day and, you know, make it worth it. All right? Make it a worthwhile Monday. Enjoy. Before I go, if you live in the Miami area, or if you're visiting the Miami area, or if you're looking to get married, try visiting the Miami area. You can go to mermaidbeachweddings.com and tell them Sal sent you. They'll give you a nice discount on your package that you choose. But unmatched beach weddings, nice beach decorum. Do tell your guests not to come all dressed up, though. As someone who actually attended these, it was pretty terrible to see people watch the weddings in the blazing heat of Florida in a full suit, full gown, high heels. People dress appropriately. You're going to a beach wedding. I'm not telling you to wear flip-flops and trunks, but dress comfortable. Either way, enjoy. Be good. See you later on this week. Take care.